Hello, everyone. This is criminal profiler Pat Brown, and I just finished watching the Sun's new Madeleine McCann Crockumentary. Yes, what a load of codswallop. That's all I can say as far as that's my brief review. All right, let me get into a bigger review. I want to say this: it's not worth watching for any reason. If you don't know much about this case, it's not going to teach you much about this case. If you want to know more about this case, please do go to the link below. This is my book, Profile of the Disappearance of Madeleine McCann. I did it's an audio version. I read the book myself. It's on YouTube for free, so go check that out. You can also get the book any place but Amazon because the McCanns threatened Amazon with a lawsuit, and so my book just disappeared, shall we say. So if you don't know anything about the case, please at least learn something about the case. If you're a person who absolutely believes that Madeleine McCann was abducted, you're probably going to be cheered on by this, thinking, oh my gosh, they've got more proof that Christian Bruckner did it. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, absolutely nothing in here tells you that at all. So you can watch it and waste your time. If you're part of the group that believes that Madeleine McCann was not abducted, and you wonder what the heck this unseen evidence is, stop wondering. There is no unseen evidence. It's just nonsense because it's the sun. What did you expect? It's the sun. All right. Now, before I go in, I'm going to give you some just highlights of this. You can call them highlights. I call them lowlights. But anyway, I will talk about the basic few things that are in this documentary. And but before I do think it is only fair to give a disclaimer so that people won't claim, I'll say that, oh my God, Pat Brown doesn't like the sun, so you can't trust her. Okay, I don't like the sun. And why? Because they libeled me, and it took me months to get the British system to go after them, essentially, and make them give me an apology. And they did. They finally did. Apology to criminal profiler Pat Brown. And of course, this was posted in a place where nobody saw it. But an article, quote, key to finding Maddie expert says mystery man spotted on night she disappeared is key to solving case of missing Madeleine McCann. This is a Smith sighting I was talking about, which they then misinterpreted. No, they didn't. They just lied. Originally had a headline which reported that criminal profiler Pat Brown believed Madeleine McCann may have been abducted by a mystery man seen on the night she disappeared. No, I never said that. To clarify, because you got your butt caught, she believes that the man is key to solving the case, but does not believe that he abducted Madeleine. Yes, that is true. I don't believe Smith man abducted Madeleine. I believe Smith man is most likely Jerry McCann. A version of the headline also suggested that two, quote, mystery men seen on the night may have been the same person. In fact, Pat Brown believes they were different men. We apologize for the error. I didn't believe they were different men because I believed that Tanner Man wasn't even a real person. So there's Smith Man and Tanner Man, and I only believe one existed, which is Smith Man. Tanner Man, I think, is a figment of Jane Tanner's imagination, so she can give Jerry McCann an alibi. So there was only one man, it's Smith Man, and the McCanns never wanted to even look at the Smith Man sighting as a real sighting. Because why? In my opinion, it's because it was Jerry McCann. Because if they knew it wasn't Jerry McCann, why wouldn't they want everybody to focus on Smith Man because that might be the guy that kidnapped their daughter? But they weren't interested. Only interested in Tanner Man. Interestingly, in this documentary, they actually say that Smith Man was Christian B. Well, do they not say it, but they insinuate. So Smith's sighting now becomes real again. Smith's sighting is actually the kidnapper. And it's likely Christian Bruckner because they show a whole little a pattern of how he grabbed Madeleine, went out of the house, and where he went around. And that's when the Smith family saw probably Christian Bruckner. Isn't that interesting? So Smith Man becomes real again, but only because they can try to make him an abductor. Anyway, so that's my disclaimer. Now let's go on to what's in the show. And in the show, first they start out with the Portuguese police screwed up everything. In the first 48 hours, they botched the case. And basically, you can't believe Gonzalo Amaral. the major detective on the case, who wrote the book, the original book, Truth of the Lie. And the second book, because now he can write the second book because the McCanns lost in court. So I want you to also read Truth of the Lie, because that's a very important book to read. He's the original detective on the case. And he, that's where it all started. And I believe he's got it right for the most part. I have some disagreements with certain things, as we all do when we analyze things. But basically, he's a hero. He's a hero. And I hope, as a criminal profiler, I brought a book along and an analysis along to support Gonzalo Ramos. We did meet, Gonzalo Ramos and myself, and we were going to write a book together, but couldn't get a publisher to touch it, as it works in the McCann world. Anyway, so they trashed the police and all that. And then they went on to say, oh my God. And then they had the audacity to make the McCanns, Arguidos, suspects in the disappearance of their daughter. How dare they do that? And then they said, oh, but that was dropped, and they're no longer, they've been cleared. Okay, son, you're lying again. They've never been cleared. Never been cleared. They're still Arguidos in the eyes of the Portuguese. But here's a funny thing that they say. They like, oh, and then after that happened, even though her face was so well known, despite that, for 13 years, her story faded into the background. What? Faded into the background. Documentary after documentary after documentary, book after book after book, tons of McCann interviews, the media constantly talking about this case. Oh, and now, well, of course, the son is here to do a documentary. Faded into the background? No, 99% of children have gone missing and faded into the background, but not Madeleine McCann. You lying dogs. Anyway, all right, so now, after that, now the case is floundering. No one knows who kidnapped Madeleine McCann, until the German prosecutor arrives. He's like a prince on a horse. Who would expect it coming from Germany? No, not from the UK, not from Portugal, but from Germany, because he has discovered the abductor and kidnapper and murderer of Madeleine McCann. He has the evidence, he says, and his name is Hans Christian Walters, the prosecutor. Now, okay, so Hans Christian Walters, I want you to click the link below and check out this wonderful podcast by Australian journalist Mark Saunokonoko. Let me see if I say his name right. Mark Saunokonoko. Yeah, that's right. It's hard to say. Anyway, Mark Saunokonoko did this incredible podcast. He got Walters to do an interview, and he tore Walters to shreds. Walters kept trying to say he had evidence, and Mark just completely like annihilated his evidence. And it was embarrassment. It should have been an embarrassment for Walters. And so if you want to know what evidence Walters thinks he has, says he has, lied about what he has, click on the link below. Credit to Mark, one of the best journalists in the world. And so now they're bringing him back in this thing quickly, but they're like, oh, he's here. And he has this evidence. And now, through the great journalism of the Sun, we've done this incredible investigative work. And we've come up with this unseen evidence, basically given to you probably by Walters, who is floundering because his guy, Christian Bruckner, is going to walk, and there's no evidence against him with Madeleine McCann. So he's probably trying to save his reputation. So let me throw some things off to these people, the Sun, and maybe they'll save me. And so they're saying, oh my God. And so now we through our great investigative skills, have come up with this previously hidden police information, which investigative skills don't give you that information. The police just have to hand it to you. So anyway, they obviously did. And so now, oh my God, there's all this new stuff, this unseen evidence, and it's going to convince you that Christian Bruckner absolutely did kidnap Madeleine McCann. There's nothing new. There's absolutely freaking nothing new. What do they say about him? Oh, that he was in town. He lived in the area at the time. Well, that's true. We all know that. Oh my God, there was some phone issue at the time. He was there that night. Okay, just go to Mark's interview, and that'll wipe that out quickly. And then let's see what else. When he was at a party someplace, at a rave or something, he said to this creepy friend of his, that he knew that Madeleine didn't scream the night she was abducted, didn't cry out, and that means he abducted her. Everybody knows that. I mean, nobody heard Madeleine cry out. So this is the stupidest thing ever. So because he says that after everybody knows that, that makes him the guy who did it. Get out of here. And then let's see what else. They found he had this home. He bought this place and he buried a bunch of crap. And there was, on the crap that he buried, there were videos and photos of icky stuff about, like children. Like he wrote some little story. They give a little bit of it about how when about kidnapping somebody. Not that there hasn't been a legitimate author who's ever written such a similar thing. Like half of our movies are written by screenwriters who say the same thing. Okay, yes, he is. Okay, the guy's a pedophile. He did get nailed with abuse of a 5-year-old girl, and he also raped a elderly woman. So the dude's a predator. He's a scumbag, psychopathic predator. He wrote this stuff. That's his fantasy. It doesn't mean he committed that fantasy. It just means he has a fantasy. Then he has supposedly a whole bunch of pictures of little girls' bathing suits, like 60 of them or something. Now, there aren't 60 missing children. Where do these pictures of bathing suits come from? I don't know. Dude likes little girl bathing suits. I mean, it's creepy. It doesn't mean he abducted Madeleine McCann. There's a lot of creepy stuff. He's a creepy dude. He's interested in young girls. No question. However, of all the stuff they've unearthed, they didn't unearth one bit of DNA linking to Madeleine McCann. They didn't unearth one piece of clothing that linked to Madeleine McCann. They didn't unearth one photo of Madeleine McCann after she disappeared. They didn't unearth any videos of Madeleine McCann after she disappeared. They got zero. Oh, they went over to where there's a place. They went and there was a reservoir. Oh my God. This is great new unseen evidence that he liked going to a reservoir and hanging out there, like camping out there. And it was cool for him to do that. He liked being in nature. So they did eventually go up and dig up the crap out of the area of the reservoir, and they found absolutely zero. But they're saying, oh my God, this is proof. Proof of what? The guy likes to go hang out in nature and be weirdo? Because he's a weirdo, he takes weird pictures of himself. And what's your point? Is he a pedophile? Yes. Is he a creepy dude? Yes. Is he a predator? Yes. That doesn't mean he has anything to do with the disappearance of Madeleine McCann. Absolutely zero. And that really bothers me that this, the son, of course, who I do not have any faith in or love for. Well, they're just grifters, like a lot of grifters on the internet. As long as they can put out something new about Madeleine McCann, new about Madeleine McCann, claim that there's new stuff, then they can make a lot of money. That's what they do. And so there's nothing in this. There's absolutely zero new information at all in this show. It's all garbage. If you want to know, again, something, you want to understand this case, yes, check out my book, check out the podcast of Mark's, check out, read Gonzalo Amoral's books, the first one or the second one, both. Check out Peter Hyatt's analyses of the McCanns, their interviews. Fabulous. Peter is no longer with us, and it makes me extremely sad because I love Peter. And he was just a really great guy all the way around. And that he worked with law enforcement and was still willing to come forward and talk about the McCann case is very unusual, because that's usually the death of your career right there. But Peter was willing to do it because he's and forever will be an honest fellow. And also, you can check out Deception Detective. He's doing new stuff where he's analyzing the McCanns, and his stuff is good. So check him out as well. Be careful of the grifters all over the internet. Who will tell you any theory that they have, especially if the slicker it gets, the more you want to be concerned about it. There's enough out there that's just focused on evidence. That's what I focus on as a profiler. I focus on evidence, and I present the evidence. I present my analysis of the evidence so that you can understand the evidence. And that's what, if we're going to look at criminal cases, that's what we should be looking at. We shouldn't be looking at fluff and gossip and just freaking pile of nonsense. So, I'll stop here before I get more incensed. But anyway, don't waste your time. Really, don't waste your time. I've just told you everything you need to know. So thank you for being here. If you're new to the channel, please do support it. I am an educational channel. I do try to be as educational as possible and stick with things that are worth talking about. So anyway, check out all those links. Thank you very much.